Führungsrolle in Europa zu gehen, Vorbild zu sein und andere aufzufordern, uns zu folgen. Da gibt es eine völlige Übereinstimmung mit den Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika. Und das gilt auch jetzt für die Frage, was Sanktionen angeht. Ja, es gibt eine starke Bewegung, das wissen Sie, im amerikanischen Senat, wo viele Senatorinnen und Senatoren sich bereit erklärt haben, auch ein Sanktionsgesetz zu erlassen. Und die amerikanische Administration geht davon aus, dass das geschehen wird, wenn Russland sich nicht bewegt. Insofern, die USA und Europa lesen vom selben Blatt. Ich glaube, das ist ein Vorschlag, der abgestimmt ist, der auch mit der amerikanischen Seite abgestimmt ist oder vorabgestimmt ist. Wir werden darüber heute natürlich noch einmal beraten. Aber man sollte das Ergebnis sehen. Und das Ergebnis sind in der Tat die 5%, die Präsident Trump gefordert hat, die er für notwendig hält. Und wir folgen ihm da. Und wir sehen darin ein klares Bekenntnis der Vereinigten Staaten von Amerika zu Artikel 5. Die NATO steht eng zusammen. Und jeder muss wissen, dieses Verteidigungsbündnis ist durch diesen beklagenswerten Krieg stärker geworden und steht enger zusammen als je zuvor. Herzlichen Dank.
It's very important to be here in Turkey at this time with the Euro-Atlantic community coming together in such extensive numbers, representing the greatest alliance in history, frankly. And we come with one single message: to stand by Ukraine and to ensure that we get a just and lasting, enduring peace. And the readiness for that peace is demonstrated by President Zelensky being here in Turkey as well. And of course, we watch closely as we head to these talks, noting the Russian low-level individuals who are coming to represent the Russian side. It's hugely important that we redouble our efforts across the Euro-Atlantic to recommit to defence spending. It was back in 2014 in Wales that we made the 2% pledge, and I'm delighted that the UK met that pledge right throughout this modern history. But of course, it's now right that we step up that commitment. You saw that with Prime Minister Starmer making clear that we would meet 2.5% by 2027, and heading in to the next Parliament, we would get to 3%. This alliance, all of us were committing far more during the Cold War. It's hugely important that we recommit to Europe's defences and that we step up alongside our US partners in this challenging geopolitical moment where there are so many pressures across the world, and particularly in the Indo-Pacific. I look forward to speaking to European foreign ministers today as we make that pledge to ensure that right across the Euro-Atlantic areas, our people are safe, there is enduring peace, and that we stand on the shoulders of those who committed to our security, as of course we recall victory in Europe 80 years ago. Thank you very much indeed.
TRT, 2 doorsteps.
Nous sommes ce matin en Turquie et l'Ukraine a tenu sa parole. Volodymyr Zelensky est présent avec ses conseillers, avec son ministre avec lequel je me suis entretenu à l'instant pour négocier la paix. Mais face à eux se trouve une chaise vide, la chaise sur laquelle devait s'asseoir Vladimir Poutine. Vladimir Poutine qui traîne les pieds et qui, de toute évidence, n'a pas envie d'entrer dans ces négociations de paix, alors même que le président Trump a marqué sa disponibilité et sa volonté de faciliter ces discussions. Alors bien sûr, aujourd'hui, une équipe technique diligentée par Vladimir Poutine se rendra en Turquie, où elle rencontrera une équipe ukrainienne. Mais c'est une manière pour la Russie d'éviter les sanctions massives que les États-Unis et les Européens s'apprêtent à infliger à la Russie sur le plan énergétique et sur le plan financier pour contraindre Vladimir Poutine à mettre fin à sa guerre d'agression contre l'Ukraine. De ces discussions techniques qui vont se tenir ici en Turquie, nous pouvons espérer obtenir un cessez-le-feu sans condition, immédiat, qui permette l'ouverture de négociations. Mais ce que nous voulons éviter, c'est de retomber dans les trois pièges qui ont...
Have you been sitting on a smart business idea and need to get it online? GoDaddy makes it fast and easy with user-friendly products and tools to help you on your entrepreneurial journey. Plus, get AI to help build your business for you with the all-new GoDaddy Aero experience. Start for free at godaddy.com.
Parce qu'on ne négocie pas sous les bombes. Et en 2022, c'est notamment le massacre de Boutcha, perpétré par la Russie, qui a conduit ces négociations à échouer. Le deuxième des pièges, c'est de vouloir imposer à l'Ukraine une démilitarisation, c'est-à-dire de priver l'Ukraine par avance des garanties de sécurité qui permettraient à la paix d'être véritablement durable. Et puis le troisième piège dans lequel il ne faudrait pas tomber une deuxième fois, c'est celui qui consiste à vouloir lever les sanctions au début des négociations plutôt qu'à la fin. Et donc nous, les Européens, nous voulons accompagner l'Ukraine dans ces négociations de paix, puisque nous voulons la paix, mais nous nous préparons aussi, avec des sanctions qui seraient massives, à contraindre Vladimir Poutine à initier ces négociations de paix s'il continuait à les esquiver. We are today in Turkey, where Ukraine has held its words. President Zelensky is present with its councillors, with his minister, with whom I met a few minutes ago. But in the face of Ukraine, there is an empty chair. The chair that was awaiting Vladimir Putin, despite of the fact that President Trump has expressed its availability, its willingness to facilitate discussions between Ukraine and Russia. Of course, there will be a technical team sent by Vladimir Putin to discuss with the Ukrainian team today in Turkey. Because, of course, Russia is willing to avoid the massive sanctions on oil, on the financial sector, that the US and that Europeans are preparing in the instance where Russia would keep refusing to cease fire. But the best we can hope for in these technical discussions is indeed a ceasefire, an immediate, unconditional ceasefire that would allow for proper peace negotiation. And what we want to avoid at all costs from those discussions that are going to start in Istanbul is for us collectively to fall in the three traps that led the previous discussions 3 years ago to failure. The first trap is to discuss or to hold while bombs are falling on Ukraine. Because last time, the Bucha massacre that happened during those negotiations led to their failure. The second trap is to try to impose the demilitarization of Ukraine and to prevent Ukraine from seeking credible security guarantees from its partners after the war. This would lead those discussions to failure because there can be no lasting peace without credible security guarantees. The third trap is to front-load sanction lifting rather than backloading them. This again led to the failure of the Istanbul negotiation 3 years ago. As far as we're concerned, Europeans are united. They demonstrated it last weekend in Kyiv. We're supporting Ukrainian efforts to enter those peace negotiations, and we're preparing for massive sanctions on oil and financial sector in the instance where Vladimir Putin would keep avoiding such discussions. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everybody. First of all, I want to announce yesterday Italy achieved the 2% of our GDP for security defense. The document is on the table of Mr. Rutte. The Prime Minister will announce officially this result during the Den Haag meeting. This is a clear and important message to our friends of NATO. It's a clear message to the Americans. We are ready for doing more for our security in the next years.
Minister, what do you expect from the negotiation talks in Istanbul today on the ground level?
You have another question. I want to be optimistic, but I don't know if Russia wants to achieve this goal. Probably Russia wants to move on with the war in the next month because it's difficult for Putin to change his organization. There are 1 million of soldiers paid more than the workers in Russia. The industrial Russian industry is involved in defense. For this, for Putin, we need more time. But this is his job. We want peace, peace with justice. We need to protect Ukraine. We need to respect the international law. Today's meeting is the first step. But we need more Russian engagement for achieving ceasefire before and peace after.
Travel with family or buddy. Discover more than 4.5 million hotels and homes with Agoda. See the world for less. Book now.
Protect Europe from Ukraine to Portugal. But we are working hard for peace, but we need concrete actions by the Russians.
Minister, today Italy is reaching the 2%.
Yes.
But the discussion today is about 5%. Is Italy ready for this enormous investment? And do you think that the EU has to step up and help member states to reach this new investment?
We are in favor, but we need time. We need to debate on this. But it's important to respect our engagement on the 2%. This is the first step. Then it's possible to do more. It's possible to increase the money for defense. And I prefer to talk on security, because defense security is not only weapons. It's the protection of every European citizen, every Italian citizen. For this, we are ready for talking on this, but we are in favor the strongest pillar of the second pillar of the NATO. There is a big pillar, this American pillar. Now we need to work hard for a biggest pillar, European pillar. We need to do more. We want to move on in this direction. We need time, of course, but I think we need the European defense for security. But security is a concept more important than defense. Defense is part of the security. For this we are ready for doing more. It's also, security is also infrastructure, cyber security, not only weapons. Security is the protection against terrorism, against cyber attack. For this we need to talk on this, but we are ready for the protection of our citizens, Italian citizens, European citizens. I believe in Europe, I believe in European defense.
How do you consider the agreements between Turkish companies and the Italian aerospace companies? Will we see more this kind of agreement?
The relations between Italy and Turkey are very, very positive. 2 days ago, a long call between President Erdogan and Prime Minister Meloni, but from the Berlusconi government, the link between Italy and Turkey has been very, very positive in every sector. We are part of NATO. We are Mediterraneans. For us, it's important to work together in the Mediterranean Sea. First of all, we need to look at Libya. Yesterday, I have spoken with the Minister for Foreign Affairs on this. I am concerned for the situation in Libya. Now, probably there is a ceasefire, but we need to look also at the south. For this, Turkey will be very, very important. We are ready for doing more with Turkey in many, many sectors, also in the defense sector. Absolutely, because I think it's important to back the European defense in the industrial defense. When I was commissioner, I worked with Commissioner Barnier. At this time I was commissioner for industry, and Barnier was commissioner for internal market. We approved, we proposed to the Commission. The Commission approved our proposal for a European defense strategy. But I think we need to be open for a cooperation with the countries, NATO countries, for example, America, Turkey, UK, but also with Japan. We are working, for example, as Italy, for aircraft, Italy, UK, Japan. This is not only Europe is important, I agree, but we need to be open for cooperation with other countries, friends of us. Underline, Turkey, USA, Japan, and UK, of course.
Minister, we are now in the adoption phase of the 7th sanctions package already, and Putin doesn't seem to be any closer to negotiations. So what kind of stronger sanctions would there still be to get?
As you know, the sanctions are not, for us, Italian sanctions are European sanctions. It's impossible to decide alone. But we are in favor. If Putin wants to move on in the same direction, we need other sanctions, so we are in favor of this. Okay? I have the family photo. I'm sorry.
The DevOps lifecycle should be fast. Why else would it look like a racetrack? Build software faster.
Don't stand on the stages.
Please go back, sir.
Yes, not on the stages.
Công nghệ má phanh BNC TRdoC TIòng hiện đại là sự lựa chọn phù hợp và hoàn hảo nhất cho chuyến hành trình trên xe ô tô của bạn. Áp dụng công nghệ stealth hiện đại và tân tiến, má phanh BNC TRdoC TIòng giúp phanh xe mượt mà và êm ái hơn cho bạn một ngày lái xe thoải mái. Công nghệ ceramic cải thiện chỉ số của má phanh như là hiệu suất dừng hiệu quả, ít bụi hơn và tăng cường độ bền. Má phanh BNC TRdoC TIòng cũng sử dụng công nghệ sọc titanium xanh loại bỏ quá trình làm quen sau khi gắn vào xe. Ngoài ra, má phanh còn có miếng đệm giúp giảm tiếng ồn và độ rung trong quá trình phanh gấp. Đắc Yến là nhà phân phối độc quyền cho tất cả những sản phẩm của BNC. Hãy nhanh tay đặt mua những sản phẩm chất lượng của BNC tại Việt Nam.
Good morning. Good morning to all of you, and I really want to welcome you to Antalya for this important 4 minutes meeting, and I want to thank our colleague from Turkey. Really, Hakan, thank you so much for making this possible, and the hospitality, it is really amazing. We will have a very important meeting today in the run-up to the summit in The Hague. We need to discuss how to make sure that NATO will be stronger. That means more defense spending. It means more defense industrial production. But also how to make sure that NATO is fair, that we equally distribute the burden amongst allies, and that is only fair. But also a NATO which is more lethal, not by becoming offensive, but by being so strong that nobody will ever attack us, because they know if they would, this defensive alliance, if we will be attacked, our reaction will be devastating. That's what we will discuss today, how to make sure that we make a success out of the The Hague summit. It will be a splash of a NATO which is standing there at the world stage stronger than ever. So again, thank you for being here, and now it is my honor to give the floor to our colleague from Turkey. Hakan, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mark. And it's a great pleasure to host you all in Ankara, and welcome again. This is one of the last high-level meetings before our summit in The Hague next month, as you know, and the Euro-Atlantic area suffers from multiple crises and conflicts. Therefore, this meeting will be an occasion to demonstrate our continued unity and solidarity.
Hy vọng mới.
Issues like transatlantic burden sharing and defense industrial cooperation are also high on our agenda. In this regard, we wholeheartedly support Secretary General's vision of alliance-wide defense industrial base, in his words, from Texas to Ankara. These are among the most critical enablers in shaping the future of European security architecture. Of course, our efforts to bring the war in Ukraine to a just and durable end will be an important part of our discussions. You all know that Turkey has always stressed the need for a diplomatic track to this end. Now, after 3 years of immense suffering, there is finally a window of opportunity. The talks in Istanbul hopefully may open a new chapter. Our meeting today will be an important occasion to discuss how we can individually and collectively support this process. On the other hand, our southern neighborhood and the Balkans are also an important part of NATO's 360 degrees approach to Euro-Atlantic security. We will also reflect on what we can do as allies to deepen our partnerships from the Middle East to Africa and Asia-Pacific to enhance stability. Finally, terrorism continues to pose a grave threat to the security of all allies. We will also discuss how best we can strengthen our solidarity against this scourge with concrete steps. In short, NATO, as the backbone of Euro-Atlantic security and defense, will continue to be the essential transatlantic forum to consult, coordinate, and act on all security matters among allies. We have no doubt that our meeting today and the Hague Summit next month will reinforce this indispensable character of our alliance. On our part, as Turkey, in addition to today's meeting, the fact that we will also host the next summit in 2026 demonstrates our steadfast commitment to the alliance and what it stands for. Once again, welcome to Antalya for this important meeting, and I look forward to our discussions under the able leadership and moderation of the Secretary General, Mark Rutte. Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks a lot. That ends the public part of our meeting. It ends the public part of our meeting. So in the spirit of democracy, I have to ask the press gently to leave the room. But there will be press conferences after this meeting, no doubt, of many of us, so you will get a full readout.
Israel.